अच्छा, और वो मैसेज कितने लोगों में चले जाएगा?
हाँ, वो तो इंटरनेट पे जाएगा।
अच्छा,
हाँ, तो ये अब बोलना शुरू करिए। अब इसमें आपने क्लिक कर दिया।
मैंने कर दिया।
हाँ,
अच्छा, अब
इसमें बोलिए, कोई भी इंट्रोडक्टरी मैसेज बोल दीजिए।
The real issue on this planet Earth we are facing at this time is ecological imbalance. And there are a lot of educated people, scientists, and all these great people are trying to give the answers, but the facts are. But the truth is that not putting them down, basically they don't understand the universal laws, the natural laws, what binds all this planet Earth, what are the ecology, what are the environmental issues. They're all, both are interlinked. This universe, the planet, basically when we say environmental damage is correlated to the ecological imbalance. When ecology gets disturbed, the environment gets disturbed. So we have to first understand why these things are happening, why the ecology, and there's so much drought, so much desertification seeping in. I was visiting recently India, and when I went over there, I came across in the environmental ministry website, and I was shocked to hear that India is also, which was one time the most fertile land, is going through depletion of the land and desertification, and would you believe that it's 57% right now? With the population with India, 1.2 billion people, if we have to face this kind of problem and it continues to grow, then we have problem for food, which we have already difficulties for poor people to buy food at good reasonable price. So the government, it is very essential for the government to look into this and reverse this desertification, and we do have the science. If they want to talk, they need to talk to Acharya Charandas, consult him, and he will give the answers to bring back the greenery on this planet Earth so we can plant more trees, plant more vegetables, plant more fruits, and all this desertification can disappear. Plus, this water shortage is another problem which we are facing. There cannot be possibility of water shortage in India. We have so many ways to get the water to the fields, and that science is with us. We will be glad to share these information for the benefit of humanity. If you have any interest and you want to be honest, truthful, rather than be egocentric, that I know as a geologist or I know as a meteorologist everything. But what meteorologist does, he simply warns the people ahead of time that there is going to be hurricane or tornadoes. But most farmers' kids can do the same thing basically. The only thing is that there will be a little bit faster timing in alerting the people that we are going to have bad weather, or there will be big torrential rain. But the facts are that these are not going to save the planet Earth. This is just the information. Now the geologist can analyze the land, he can check all this ground and can tell that the drought is coming, but does he know why it is seeping in? What's the reason for it? So you have to seek the help of Bhagwan Shri Krishna, which has stated in Bhagavad Gita how he controls all these universes, and all these universes are running under his domain. And basically, this is why we have to understand the real science, that how human evolution of the consciousness, when it is disturbed and it is misled and confused by the demonic qualities of human beings, fasting up the transmigration of soul of the evolutionary process of consciousness, that causes a lot of disturbance in ecology, mass population explosion. There will be famine, and due to all these kind of habits of killing, mass butchering of the animals, for example, a cow life, should I continue? For example, a cow life is 20 years. Just like humans live about 100 years, but most of the humans cannot live 100 years, 70, 80 years. But cow life is 20 years. Now, here is a baby cow is put in the cage, 24 inches by 32 inches, can't even walk, turn around, and she is used as a wheel calf, and ammonia gases are passed to kill her and eat as a delicacy, what they call in the Christian word, veal, Papa John. Well, Pope Paul was very much interested and fond of veal Papa John. What happened to him? He died a very mysterious death with a lot of diseases. Parkinson's disease, he suffered to the utmost because it's against the natural laws. Human body is not meant to eat animals because the digestive system, the acid in the stomach, is 1/20th times the strength of the hydrochloric acid, which we call a digestion for the food in the stomach, is 1/20th times the strength of these carnivorous animals. So are you a carnivorous animal? So what you eat is what you are. So you think that by eating a dog food, you're not going to be a dog in next life. We talk about destinies. We have heard so many times, many Christians talk about the destiny, but do you know the meaning of destiny? The destiny is the one you have created on the basis of your consciousness. By that consciousness, you get next life. What you like is what you get. So if you like to do things God provides, Krishna will provide a body which will facilitate you into that kind of activities which you had desire to do so. So for example, a person whose life was a dogmatic dog life is going to become next life in a dog body. For example, a carpenter, if he uses a hammer, he does not become a hammer. If he uses the electric saw, he does not become an electric saw. So same way is this soul. The presence of soul, you have to make a distinction in this human body that there is a residence of you. And that residence is within the heart between 5 ears. And that presence of soul is, as long as that presence of soul is there, there is a consciousness is spread in your body. And that consciousness is present in the dog life, in the wolf life, in every life you can see which have 9 gates to the body, you can see that. Even insects have life too. So what we are looking at this point of view, that what we are as a human beings doing, do we have compassion for life? What we are seeing, that we are exercising our free will, because humans are the only one who gets the free will. When you get the free will, you revert your free will in the wrong direction because you went through transmigration of soul from one life to another, which Mr. John Adams wrote a letter to the president, 3rd president of the United States of America, Mr. Thomas Jefferson. He said, after reading the Hindu science of reincarnation, by the way, all those forefathers, noble forefathers to the United States were called deists. And those deists were nature worshippers. They believed in Hindu science, and they used the Hindu science to form the Declaration of Independence. Mr. Benjamin Franklin, he states that somewhere, some form I will be existing, whether in this life or somewhere else. So they believed in reincarnation, life after death. And they are called destinies. Now, destiny is created by the consciousness that you have carried in this life. And when you leave this body, the soul leaves with the consciousness that you have created in this human form of life, whatever form, with association, a good association or a bad association. And that is like carrying the air aroma with air carrying the aroma. Just like air takes the aroma, you spray some nice, or air takes the dirty, foul smell. Whatever you created. If you create good things, It's like a good aroma is being carried to the next life. But if you carry it, if you created the consciousness of a very evil, very dirty, mischievous life, lies, deceit, always hateful, always warmonger, deceitful, harsh in nature, disrespectful, always violent, always untruthful, always lusty, life of miseries, of cheating propensities, what your life will be in the place of heaven? No, of course not. Heaven is a place where life is full of happiness and eternal peace and full of blissful life. Now, you want to achieve heaven? I tell you one thing, you judge your own self. Find out what you are doing. If you think you are at peace, if you think you are doing good things and you have respect for all life, then chances are that you may go back to heaven. There is where they stop liberation. It's called liberation of the soul. Now the soul is either liberated or conditioned. So if you want to be conditioned with the material contamination, as I explained to you, with all kinds of lust, desires, and unwanted, impetuous desires, burning desires, anger, greed, which and Lord Krishna, Bhagavan Shri Krishna, Bhagavad Gita has spoken very clearly. In chapter 16, go check it out yourself. Over 5,200 years ago, the father of all mankind, all souls, the mother of all kinds. He said, I'm the father, I'm the mother, I'm the grandsire. I'm the syllable Om. And that father has stated very clearly in chapter 16 that greed, lust, anger, harsh nature, misbehaved, lies, deceit, arrogance, ignorance, all these what I had discussed earlier lead to hell. And you think there are no hell? Yes. If you had studied astrology and astronomy, you will find out there are planetary systems right below our planet Earth. But most people have no education. They just hear some their control freak people, mislead them, confuse them, and say, okay, this person died for your sin. You think my mother or your mother could ever take bath when we were born? No, of course not. You were given the bath. So how can you say that somebody is going to take care of your problems? If you think this is the correct thing, then let's go to the work. And at that place, your boss is going to say that another person is not going to get the credit for your good things. And I'm sure that's the way you would like to hear. So your credit is with you, whether at work, whether your children do it, or whether you are by your good or bad action in life. All those activities are with you, and nobody can take care of your problems. You have to take care. For example, if you are hungry, do you think you exchange your stomach with someone else whose stomach is full? Is it possible? It's not possible. Now, let's come to the school. If a child who has done a mistake, do you think a teacher should flog another child for the mistake of somebody else? No, he will never do it. So all this baloney, what you have been trying to push throughout this planet Earth to these nature worshippers, misleading them because they are poor, and by providing them money to make them either Islamic or Christian words. But what will be the result? Would it be fruitful for you? There will be more gang wars, more criminal violence. There will be more catastrophic wars, which you have seen already. Hundreds of wars have been fought, and you can very well see what is going on between this Christianity and Islam. They are at odds to each other. It is because of your ideologies. You are not at peace to yourself. And that is the science what we teach about that. First, we must understand we are not this body. This body is a temporary piece of garment, and it has a residence for the soul. And this particular soul is actually expect you to make his house or her house as the temple of the soul. But are you making it a temple? No. Contaminated with all the dead bodies of the animals, drinking wine and whiskey, and doing all kinds of hanker-panky, dirty lifestyle, dirty lust type of lifestyle, and even not sparing boys and having marriages between gender. Are these really good sign of human life? What you are all trying to prove? Are you going to be going into mud to mud overhead? What you call the ashes to ashes? Well, ashes to ashes, in fact, is the Hindu science. The Hindu science teach that human body should be cremated. Now, when human body is cremated, all those 5 elements of the body, not the white body, not the brown body, not the black body, not the dog body, not the cat body, but all those ashes, when they are burned, merge into the nature. And what are those elements? Water, fire, air, ether, and earth. Those 5 elements. And you must also understand that we have more than 70% water in our body. Consequently, if you find that our planet Earth also has 70% water, well, God has very well planned it. If He had not planned it right, we would have not got the water, because all those colonizers would be colonizing those areas where there was no water. And we would have never got the water. So Lord is very well aware of these facts, that the greedy humans come and destroy the planet Earth. Now we got the water because God had planned it very well. 70% of this planet Earth is filled with water. Now let's say if it was 30%, what would have happened? All those 40% would have been colonized, and 30% would be dirty with all filthy discharge of the factories and all those things. And think about that, we would not be getting water, as we have the shortage of water drops. The trees are being cut. Look at the trees, the number of trees. On Christmas Day alone, these fools cut thousands of trees, destroying this planet Earth, where we can grow vegetables for millions of people who are starving and are in famine. But they don't want. They want decoration. And well, then pumpkins, for example. Think about that. Such a big fruit of pumpkin on the day of Halloween is decorated, and then is dumped after 2 or 3 days of this on the garbage. Look how much resources required to grow that such a big size of pumpkin. If we had some nice vegetable and fruits and trees growing on that, not dumping, that would have helped millions of people to get the food worldwide. We are wasting our land and resources, and that land becomes in depletion, because pumpkin and all this requires a lot of resources to grow, and so are those trees. So these are some of the basic reasons for our ecological imbalance. And now tomorrow, means day after tomorrow, which will be 24th of November 2016, millions of turkeys' head will be cut. Think about the soul leaves the body and evolve to a higher level. So Mr. John Adams spoke very clearly. Many souls are hurt out of enviousness to the darkest regions. And then they transmigrate to various forms of life, like the fish, then the trees, then the birds, and then different reptiles, animals, and then they come to the form of cows. So Mr. John Adams, the second president of the United States of America, had very well stated cows in the end. And then he says that if once there are cows, then later on the next evolution, the next cycle is migratory cycle is human life. And if as humans, they exercise their free will in the right direction, in Krishna consciousness, with love and respect to the life, for all lives, they are restored back to the spiritual kingdom Vaikuntha. If they misbehave, they are shuffled back into the animal kingdom. It's so simple. This is Mr. John Adams. The second United States president stated in his letter to Mr. Thomas Jefferson. So this is the end of the conclusion that the ecological imbalance cannot be settled by the desertification book ideas. It is only in the science of Bhagavad Gita, if it is to be understood. And then those great people of this planet Earth want to save this Mother Earth, then they must contact us to save the Mother Earth. Otherwise, all class of phony people just to be stuck into their religious orders will not help, because this is one thing I'd like to add, which will be very helpful in the ecology. Mr. Pythagoras, I'm sure that Pythagoras, who was a Greek philosopher, and his disciple name was Socrates, his disciple name was Plato, and then was Aristotle. Aristotle's disciple was Alexander. Well, Pythagoras stated very clearly, and he has studied in Takshila University, which was run by Muslims. And in that university where Chanakya had taught, and Chandragupta Maurya was his disciple, and he overcome the army of the Alexander, where Alexander was defeated by Chandragupta Maurya, the emperor. And it was to be understood very well. Now, that Pythagoras and all those, what the Christianity, when they enter into Europe, all those people were philosophers, and they were later on addressed as pagans, but they were actually following the Hindu science. The Hindu science is very advanced of natural laws, universal laws, which controls everybody. So this is what he stated. Pythagoras says, as long as the people of this planet Earth continue to murder their two most benign friends, the cows and the bull, they will perpetually suffer the consequences in the form of catastrophic wars, criminal violence, famine, and mass population explosion. Well, you can very well see, when you get too much load on this population on this planet Earth, which carries certain number of weight, and unwanted progenies enter into this planet Earth by their bad action, we have problems, and that causes the ecological imbalance. So, for example, a human requires air conditions, central heating, a good automobile. Where are the resources for millions of humans coming after mass butchering of the animals? You cut the head, the cow lives 20 years, and 6 months later you could cut her head. Where is she going to go? Because she has had the soul, the presence of atomic soul, which is called infinitesimal soul. The Lord Krishna himself, he says, I'm the father, I'm the mother, I'm the cerebral womb. He's not only the father, he is also the mother. But Christianity, even today in 21st century, are fighting if females should become a priest or not. But Hindu science, for billions of years, time immemorial, speaks that women are equal, not 50% of the value. Not 50% of the value, or not made out of the ribs of the men. These kind of outrageous things are not good for women's respect, because if you go back to India, go over there, you'll see thousands of Hindu temples where women are respected as goddesses: Kali, Durga Mata, Ambe Mata, Vaishno Devi Mata, Lakshmi Mata, Saraswati Mata, Jagdambe Mata. Well, you go and see yourself. And this is not just 1 year ago. There was not United States of America when it was founded. We were doing the same thing thousands of years prior to that, millions of years. Look at Mata Sita, how much respect Lord Ram had given. So we must understand womanhood and motherhood. When we have respect, we will not be marrying 4 wives. We'll be having polygamist, because all the marriages are made by God Himself, Sri Krishna Bhagavan. Now these kind of ideas were taken out of context by Christianity, saying marriage is made in heaven. But if their marriages were made in heaven, why do you have so much large number of divorce? That understanding and the context of the understanding, you don't have it. If you need those understanding, then you must surrender to the spiritual master who has seen the absolute truth. The spiritual master, Hindu science, will explain to you why most people require monogamous life. Naturally, we cannot control those whose family had a sudden death of the wife or something. Those are different situations. Or like a lot of people say, why this king got married 3 times or 4 times. But think about that. If the king in old time used to have a son carrying the burden of the kingdom. Now, if he does not have the child from the first wife, naturally the Brahmins and the teachers and the masters and the subject require a prince to come out. So naturally he was asked to marry 2nd time. But not for lust, but for begetting a good prince who could carry the country with respect, like in the case of Bhagwan Ram. So, Jai Shri Krishna, and hope you understand, hope you've got the real message of the universal laws, and this will make the difference between lies and the perfect information. Thank you. Hari Om.